Hello and welcome. My name is Carsten Lützen. I'm a professional coach and a facilitator, and today I'll talk about an estimation technique called poker planning. If you like these videos, please consider subscribing and sharing. Anyway, poker planning is one of the very classic estimation techniques that often get mentioned, and it was James Grenning that invented it in the first place and then popularized or made more known by Mike Cohn in his book. So to me, I'm not always a big fan of estimation, so I use poker planning as a disagreement surfacing tool. So I use it to get disagreements to the surface so we can talk about it. I don't use the outcome of estimation for velocity planning. We can do much better using statistical analysis and proper good refinement instead of using story points or whatever. Anyway, poker planning is a really good technique for disagreement surfacing. So what we do is, first off, with a lot of other estimation tools, we have a common baseline. So we take something from our backlog and say this is a standard default average, whatever we call it, backlog item that requires default effort. And to me, effort is defined of time, uncertainty, and complexity. So when we have that baseline, then everyone gets a set of cards like this, and there is a reason why it's Fibonacci numbers, and that is because then we lose that this is twice as hard as something else. And some people will argue, yeah, but Carsten, this is not a Fibonacci number. No, it's not. You're absolutely right. But if we want to play at 20, then it is so big anyway that whether it's a 20 or 21 doesn't really make sense. So that's why we deliberately have it as a 20 to showcase that this is so big that we need to do something about it. With our common baseline, I often say that we should give it a 5 or a 3, just start us right. And then somebody presents the backlog item. We have short conversation about it. Then everybody picks up their card, look at the thing that was presented, play their card face down. And when everybody has played their card face down, then we turn them at the same time. So in this way, we get unbiased estimation from everyone. So we get everybody's unbiased, yeah, you get what I mean, right? Unbiased estimation of that item. Then I like to take the top one and the lowest one. Why is it that you said it was a 13? What makes it a 13 to you? Why is it that you said it was a 2? What makes it a 2? So we get these opposite ends, right, of the spectrum. And then once we have heard that, we play a new round, same backlog item. So everybody picks a card, and then hopefully something has moved, right? Maybe there was some good arguments why maybe a 2 was too low, or there was some good arguments why 2 was more fitting. So we continue to play until everybody agrees on the same estimate. But I would, instead of that, recommend play at most 3 rounds and then take the average or listen to the subject matter expert. So if everybody is playing either 3 or 5, I would always go with the higher one, 5. Because that means there is still something that we don't agree on in this. And then we repeat with the next backlog item. And in that way we get some really good and healthy conversations about our backlog items that hopefully uncovers things that we need to know before we start implementing it. If you don't like poker planning, I can really recommend magic estimation. That's one of my favorite for disagreement surfacing. Anywho, I'm curious, what are your small tips and tricks and riffs to poker planning? Please share, that would be awesome. And as always, if you have comments, questions, ideas, or feedback to these videos, please leave a comment or send me a message. That would be awesome. Yeah, that's it. Have a super awesome day.